So it's come time to put together the review for Dirt 5, which meant I've had to spend a bit more time with Dirt 5, and my concerns, if you've watched the first look video I put together around whether this had legs, have unfortunately basically come to pass, because to be blunt, no, it doesn't have legs. And the more time I've spent with Dirt 5, the more I've got increasingly just, I'll be blunt about it, pissed off with it. To the degree that I'm seriously not going to waste my time or your time going through the full review criteria I normally put together for titles. I'm just not. I'm really annoyed and frustrated that I've dropped money on this. I've got to be honest. As those of you who know regularly, I don't get keys for this from publishers or devs. Everything I put together is based on product I've purchased myself. And I don't know whether this is just, the end result of just the last 3 releases that I've come across. So Project Cars 3, Ride 4 and now Dirt 5 just being insanely disappointing. So let's get the good stuff about this title out of the way. So it looks good, it's got a reasonable amount of content in it out of the box, and it sounds pretty good. But once you actually get into playing it, well, let's talk about playing it first of all. They've released a title with almost 0 wheel support at launch, which is quite frankly absurd. If that's the case, your product isn't ready for launch. Okay? Either don't support wheels, or if you're going to support wheels, actually wait until you can do it and then release it. Don't half-arse it like this. Now, it's not strictly speaking true. My T300 is supported, but quite frankly, it's just not worth playing with it because it has non-existent force feedback. It's dull, it's uninvolving, so crack out the game controller, and I'll be honest, for the first hour it's fun, but that gets really wearing really quickly, and once you start getting into the depths of it and that kind of dopamine hit placebo of new game has worn off, the actual feedback through a controller, PS4 Pro in my case, so DualShock controller, is just, no, it's not very good. Again, there's not a hell of a lot going on, and it's just, yeah, it's that, it's, and that's when you start looking at the actual career mode itself, which I can't fathom it out, quite frankly, because it just appears to be one random race against 11 other cars after another with very few criteria for actually progressing. It's got this tree structure thing, which at first seems to be quite involved in giving you lots of options, and it throws different rewards at you, but basically to progress you have to pass one of the challenges, most of which are fairly straightforward, until you reach the end of the current tier, at which point you have to come third or better, and that's it. Repeat ad nauseum, and by ad nauseum I mean listening to the guys from Donut Media waffle on in between in a highly infuriating manner, which is probably explaining a little more about what's going on and what the rewards are, but quite frankly I can do without listening to them, so I skip past them in their entirety. Oh, well, let's not forget about the fact that if you get a sprint car event, the sprint cars are almost undrivable. If you get one of the ice racing events, the cars are almost undrivable. The AI is crash-tastic. I think they took a lesson out of the Project Cars 3 book on that. It's, look, we bought SMS, now let's get their crash-tastic AI from their latest shite fest of Project Cars 3. And, oh yes, and now we have dynamic weather and dynamic time of day in a Dirt title for the first time ever. And by dynamic, they mean you throw a fucking switch halfway through the race and it goes from light to dark. or from not raining to raining. It's not dynamic, it's not progressive, it is throwing a sodding switch halfway through a race and bing, it goes dark, or bang, it starts raining. As you might be able to tell, I'm not spectacularly impressed by this title. To be perfectly honest, do I think you should buy it? I think the fact that I can't even be bothered to put it through my normal review criteria should give you quite a big indication as far as this goes. And it's just by the numbers laziness. And when titles, and I acknowledge that the title I'm about to mention isn't out on console, and I hope it really does come, when you've got titles that show the ingenuity, the charm and the passion of the likes of Art of Rally, Dirt 5 is just I'm making that noise again because it sums it up. It really just is. It's shite, quite frankly. It's not doing anything that Dirt 3 didn't do crap knows how long ago, and Dirt 3 did it better. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I actually, tonight, in capturing footage for this, gave up, switched off Dirt 5 and went and fired up the milestone title Gravel, which is 3 years old. Yeah, it doesn't look as good, nowhere near as good, but it's got a more interesting car list, it's got more interesting stages, and quite frankly, it's got better controller feedback on it. Oh, and if you use a wheel, it works better with the wheel. Oh, and I almost forgot. You've got a really good and genuinely really good photo mode in Dirt 5, but guess what? There's no replays. I'm having a fucking aneurysm trying to understand exactly the logic behind that. You put a photo mode in a game that you can only use when you pause gameplay. What? Who thought that was a smart move? Because quite frankly, if you do ever listen to this, you're an idiot. Because it's not a smart move, it's pointless. I'm halfway through playing a stage. Let's just pause and take some pictures before carrying on, because that's the only way to use the photo mode. Where did you come up with that? Why? Look, just don't buy this game. If you have already bought this game, I'm really sorry I didn't get this review out in time. I really genuinely am sorry I didn't get that. Just don't buy it. Don't waste your money on it. And if you want something that gives you this kind of arcade racing, rally racing title, but does it better and is probably available dirt cheap, go and buy Gravel and all the DLC for it, because whilst it's not brilliant, it's a damn sight better than this. Or if you've still got an old Xbox or PS3, go and play Dirt 3. Honestly, just no, don't buy this. I'm really annoyed with myself that I dropped money on yet another shite title this year. And disclaimer, I have had a bit to drink before I did this one, but yeah, there we go. I'm not going to say if you like this, if you found this vaguely amusing or informative, or if it saved you buying this hunk of shite, please do give me a like, and if you want to see more ranting like this, do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when my ramblings get loaded up. Thanks very much. Bye.